the sebe judicial system no etutu I think I will start straight from the CJ's petition. Sure. Maybe say answer na message. Maybe say obi wo tro no na wa can kind Bible we ma me answer na masha say open Acts 5 chapter 38 to 39 na kan nsem bi o
Acts chapter 5
38 to 39.
Acts 5 36 to
38 to 39. What they kind
okay, 38 to 39. Okay. Right. Or say, therefore, in the present case, I advise you, leave these men alone and let them go. For if their purpose or activity is of human origin, it will fail. 39. But if it is from God, you will not be able to stop these men. You will only find yourselves fighting against God.
Wouldn't be in my kind Chereh. The Quackran was say if
okay.
So why is the NPP preempting a petition and preempting doom for the Chief Justice if they feel like the Chief Justice is clean? Anytime my kind Chereh.
Premature.
Sir, I dear many here trying to. Okay, let me take you through the Constitution of the Republic. Okay. Proma say net no yamam rana na so se ne bia
Nhyira
obi ntimi nsori anopa no aga say Chief Justice mfiri o omo hye amam rana nim say emre be beso a ye de obi po akɔhye baabi ze woni dwuma obeye niema bia ense ne mfata yɛntwa de me mama mfa nko professor Koko Asare report ne petition or the ma President Akufo-Addo kwase Chief Justice mfiri o ansa na yeto aba the response from the Jubilee House no omoto petition no to twene. Already portions of the petition, paragraph 14. And some man no can Koko Asare petition mun say. Emre bi omo call legal council meeting. Kon do ba call the board Chief Justice. Sa kon do e omo mpanyine Akufo-Addo so nim to ototwene. Say omo call general legal council. And the Chief Justice ka say ono kra no obenya na nka more justices e wo Supreme Court. Yemfa a judge for bebre nko kan wona o Supreme Court no. And you see, these things are done in consultation with Council of State. A future Council of State too, and there be turbo. Make a broad consultation with stakeholders, Parliament, and all no kekahunina. And sana. If you look at the mandate of the Chief Justice, no. I'm going to obey my ejuma. Okay, kind eba. Or no man penyin koko the dean be independent be dean be command justices be dean command me pesa was this uncle for eba. Supreme Court as judges, which is in abuse of her office and the mandate given to the Chief Justice thereof. Okay, kind ba just or chair near man and no pay me hui. So we share grounds of removal. Ye Chief Justice framework. We share article 46 or better grounds no. A B said the infirmity of the mind. It says san and 146.
Okay.
We share article 146. A better like infirmity of the mind. Like we share say 145. A better retirement. When you first retire no, 70 impo ye in everywhere. And which means ye be superior court judge be every honum na. Yes, 3 instances. We share article 145. Clause 2A B C. Seen in a one about some print, seen in a removal of the Chief Justice. Okay, kind article 1461. A check when before way any justice of the Supreme Court be a free or
sure.
Ye check when. It is sabe. A son say in the natural law principle, there are 2 arms of the natural law principle. One are ADF Frincy and Primpring, the Nimo Judas in Casaswa. The chance that you cannot be a judge in your own cause. It is already the intention of the framers. One thing they put across board is over article 146, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Any justice be a Supreme Court debate may in a few. Name do 146 now. Or say when it applies to the Chief Justice because okay 1461 ebana a child say baby petition the Chief Justice. The Chief Justice thereof will form a committee. Chief Justice be assess in law e ka say be from fasia enyina so enso a woman ti a yenjina so mfa ndi djuma eze yedidi. Chief Justice na be assess in case of other justices.
So when
but say about one kasankasa Article 1466, Clause 6 is very, very, very clear and unambiguous. You see, who's NPP legal brains may be making reference to a case of a J 2 month of verse age. It doesn't apply. Whoever made that decision, Mekai say, Omar Darren Justice Jataba. What he was trying to say is that always and always before removal can proceed, they have to establish prima facie.
Sure.
That is in Yinaso, and then in Yinaso. Now, one of the committees say it is being intermemorial kinds of actual. I say, yeah, my Chief Justice no hearing, yeah, man, the chance to exercise all these are false narrative. Dear Nessie, Ningina say the constitution is so clear and Article 146 say, Oman Penini or the commander, Oman Penini will form in consultation with Council of State who establish. So, what it means is that Oman Penini will look at the petition. Now, read through the petition. Then, in consultation with Council of State, will determine what? Prima facie.
In the middle, and can be say he will copy.
Debbie. You see, the whole point is that is what I'm saying. Why are they jumping the gun? I'm catching say, pray no more, pray. Say, we're not me young. Say, if I want to be also on the mamma and your bonny beara. In time, my cancer scripture.
Sure.
And we'll pay continuance to be at the bonny dinner. According to Acts 5:38-9, wouldn't be all. Engina. Their mum, say petition in Zoom. Omopomonre. One way, sir. I mean, the coffee. Because our laws are supreme. And it is bigger than any other individual in any other office.
She said, "It's simple.
Simple. 146. Let me read 146. 14662. Where the petition is for the removal of the Chief Justice, the President shall, in consultation with the Council of State, appoint a committee consisting of 2 judges of the Supreme Court, one of whom shall be appointed chairman by the President, and 3 other persons who are not members of the Council of State, nor members of Parliament, nor lawyers." Now, look at 146.7. It says that the committee appointed under Clause 6 of this article shall inquire into the petition and recommend to the President whether the Chief Justice ought to be removed. So, after this position has been established, then the rule of natural justice, the second ambit, or the authority party rule, where you give somebody fair hearing, that is where the Chief Justice is calling to defend herself.
Sure.
And now what we are being done, what the President has done, our own consultative Chief Justice, it is a direct application of 146 Clause 6.
Step by step.
Straight application of the law. And this position of the law is so clear in law, in constitutional law.
Right.
There are so many forms of interpretation. And you see, we always say that if you look at the Constitution, the Supreme Court has original jurisdiction over interpretation of our law.
So
and the Supreme Court is called to the fray to interpret the law when the provision is ambiguous.
So
when the provision is not clear, but this provision is so explicitly clear.
Yeah, but
it is
a President say our does he for copies and come Chief Justice no a contravene.
So what is so now what is happening is that what it means is that President has been in consultation with what?
The Council of State.
Council of State.
And maybe
and now they have want to establish. That is why I'm saying that whoever is, they are preempting what is to come.
Right.
So and say no better now you go back in the history of this country. Some of the activities that shaped our democratic governance and the Supreme Court the 3 best esiwo na ohun ewu akodina Japan papa and mami omo ho omo siso eyenkaidumbi. It has no correlation with the position of the CJ. Okay. To try and paint a political party that almost too many years are judges for. So no, this is not the case. It has no bearing whatsoever with the subject matter.
Right.
What happened those days, those times where we were trying to go into our democratic groove, what happened shaped our democratic courses. Sure. That is what has consolidated this document.
Sure.
To the extent that more than the end, Mame Fane Nkrumah 69. Kwame Nkrumah became a de facto, supreme leader because the provisions of the 69 Constitution made it so clear that he can fire and hire Chief Justice. That is why one day, say Akukosa was in his house, no, fire. Without knowing enough, Kwame Nkrumah fire. You understand? And so these provisions came to make those this position, this trend, to make those acts by President not viable to one Chief Justice. That is why we have the independence of these 3 arms of government. And the analogy in a man is completely uncalled for. It is not factual. It has no correlation with the subject matter. They should relax and allow due processes to happen. That is why I've made these provisions. Untenable. If you look at Koku or say and some of the choir, me kind petition, I realize that one of the accusations will make it here. See, Chief Justice Neze, reconstitution of panel. Only reconstitution of panel. Asamaba, unzenke koha, nipa we transfer attention baba. No adane danieni, enti debiano, I assembly yasha say all these are things that all legal connotations, but omambanyini cholo letter say who here. Enye prima facie getwem. Obi the petition akwa. And then you see in law, bro, you do not need to know who is petitioning. The subject matter of the petition is what we call the prima facie. Even if a ghost make those provisions, and the president and the council of state realize that there is a course of action, it is irrespective of whoever submitted the petition. So for you to say you served the internet, you couldn't see who was what, is immaterial. I think, having said this on the CJ matter, now let me go to the ECG matters. Okay? Nyame obetu ni paka wo kroma ze no akokwa. Ye nyankopon na obehye da tue ni paka pa wo kroma no em say nyame na ankasa no onyamai. Awudie pa amanfo bie di oman no hwe papa afanyo markings. Say the normal kind of open. He is the first person to be arrested. Hwe when the CEO cannot
access to the goods. And when you ask them, I asked the procurement manager, director of procurement, a question. I said, why did he say, Chairman, this is the practice since. This is the practice. And they will bring you document. I listened to honorable member for Secondary, lawyer, you from Secondary, and I am adopting his submissions as though they were mine. The time has come. This politics, somebody says NPP, NDC, it's a system problem that I will any day support this minister to embark on reforms. How come containers at the ports? Containers that have arrived. The bureaucracy at our ports. They say the containers are missing. Mr. Speaker, it is true that when these containers come, there is some connivance with some customs officials, and they sell. They sell these containers, these cables. That ECG needs. So what happens after the supplier has been paid? They sell the container and then people will sell back to ECG. Are we pretending we don't know? Instead of us to pay attention and kill the rots, then we come here, then NPP, NDC. So now they say, oh, maybe it's happening on the NPP, it's happening on the NDC. No. An honorable minister, I know what you can do. If we can give you support to do it, you must adopt a posture, a non-partisan posture, and tackle the rots. But if we all want to approach it, NPP, NDC, Mr. Speaker, it will remain. NDC will spend 4 years, 16 years, 20 years, the same thing will be there. They will come into opposition and the same thing would arise again. ECG, I had the privilege of chairing the board in July. Because I'm a businessman, the first question I ask myself is that how can ECG award a contract? And when the contract is awarded, all the person does is deliver at the port, present bill of lading, and request for payment. I said, with the greatest respect, I don't want to use a word. This is parliament. I was shattered. I said, how? And ECG would have to pay. So I realized that ECG was paying a lot of bills when they have not.
A country are we trying to build? Check.
Jeff, Mr. Sound on my I think they almost say after no contract. Okay.
Akokwa. Yenhwe the next thing that boss. Ejasheshe. Na me nua neka say bi mu koduro a nipa su. These are gimmicks.
Right.
You will na ejashe akobo pa amebo twobo ni Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia echi say ejashe. Monka say maton. Let me tell you. Ghanaians are not those politicians. People have said this on this platform countless times.
Okay.
Ghanaians are not those Ghanaians that they used to know in 92. Okay. Yes, no, my no, we wait ma show mo say the ni me mutumi kokwa say school for ebe bo chobo eba omi we say 38. It is an kofo na mo kofa mo party for na mo bedi mo chihihye o mo yintoma mo ye yaton e ka yenim. The goodwill of this government abra incident ni see no. It is so evident through the regional minister. Anajo Abranti and now Jinamu make sure said the BCS. Right, my man can't be joke. That is a bia on Tashantarigin into who dear. There was a post by the original youth organizer RAF. And in fact, I was very infuriated. Okay? As a civil engineer, I had a privilege of working on a project. Rail line project. Now, rail line project. No, say rail line habilitation. So we are doing some feasibility studies on the rail lines. Oko drew central market or rail lines no so a cover blue light areas ningina. One thing was evident. A man for encroach lands no illegally and almost set almost structures. So it was difficult making proper assessment. And so we say the notices be kobo say omuntu enfrio as usual ade dim punto be betimi avert some of these tankers no any these hazards a betimi to say jahye am for ayeto kai ko kan yento abama mu yefiri wa yento abama menka say the sinede and me say tie ponje miye
right
it's a very unfortunate occurrence. Nonetheless, it has provided an opportunity for us to do something right. So this has offered no. It's about time we go into proper planning and design of the KGT market. Dr. Mahmoud Baumia was saying, oh, you should allow the marketers to build their own. Dr. Baumia, no. This is a pure political argument for pure political favor. I am fat. When I just say primary school, Dr. Baumia, so don't go on this tangent trying to be popular. When it is a time for us to redesign KGT, it has offered opportunity. Sabi, Enemashi. A kaba. Nemo yen timinka say ashi yen koya ade sado yen because these are generic fires. Eya ese mfie menu mfie mense bia ehye. Kantamanto mfie menu mfie ba ko bia ehye. There is a fundamental problem ningina ye planning. So now we have been offered some bare lands a bit my redevelopment. Intimacy say the government should not bow to any pressure from the masses that we should allow the traders to do those structures no be tiase so mo bedidi. Them they should bedtime yen see the sustainable ye bit my inculcate safety fire mechanisms. On the Dubai President Mahama see eja kan kakra, but because of the robust fire network omutimi kwenche ya amfa how bebrebe amate say de we ko see so almost yes sir for Miami New Office the shops in Nash, Mejutu, Miami New Mamponia, teacher near or investment. And so Omunia, let them do sustainable structures on which my inculcated safety fire mechanisms are. So in any big crazy, you bet my son on tentem. Nemo you could just almost fast and tabona, Majin, and yen said the never unya baby crown for or how we bad, yes, na sabesi, and your best room. Omunya botrema by na masaka be no should not plan that to any pressure whatsoever. From President Mahama, you have no election to contest again, you have nothing to lose. The papa Emma Jomu for no multimedia, no more. Right, me that's Gabby, no movement for change.